All right, I'm just going to press record. So hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar around being guardians of the culture and what the doTERRA culture means in terms of the company, but also what that means in terms of the wellness advocates and how it's really our responsibility to uphold that culture, not only, for the benefit of everyone, but it will actually benefit your team, your growth, and the way you conduct business will just be of such a high standard if you really take this culture stuff seriously from the get-go and get it really sorted and cement that and then pass it on to everyone in your teams. So I've got Jackie Isles with us today. As we were discussing, Jackie is one of the early adopters. She enrolled maybe, 2 months after I did. So welcome, Jackie, to this webinar. And I just want to hear your thoughts on what the doTERRA culture means for you and why you got involved. We were just kind of talking about that a little bit, but if you can kind of share that again, why you got involved and yeah, what the doTERRA culture really means to you.
Okay, why I got involved was I was looking for a product. My background, I'm a holistic nurse consultant, and the majority of my career I have worked in high wellness, so global health retreats, and I was starting to build my private practice, and I was looking for a product that would stand alone, that was high shelf, high level, and that would be easy for my guests when they had left a health retreat to be able to implement into their lives with ease. And I had heard about doTERRA, and then we had known each other from Thermomix, and Thermomix is a brilliant, brilliant product, and it's one of those kind of top shelf products. And I knew that you were a girl who was just open and authentic, and you laid everything on the table and you did your research. And when you started talking about doTERRA, I noticed. I hadn't noticed until that point. And I thought, well, if you're adopting this and looking at it, then it must be brilliant. And then I looked at it and it was brilliant. So the product stands alone. It is a high therapeutic product, but the thing that couples it for me and really is the cement that glues everything together is the heart. To stand with the directors at convention and to hear them talk and cry and share that this is a company coming from wellness to make a difference in people's lives, and that the other stuff comes at a second, being I suppose at convention this year, we didn't hear about the money until the end of convention with the CFO. So to me, it's about togetherness. It is teamwork. It is about respect of product, respect for our customers who are actually our wellness advocates and actually our team. And it's about generating walking together with a gift of nature as nature works together with itself. Everything is in a cycle and everything supports each other. And I think that's lovely that we work with a product that allows us to work together on all levels of being. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. So I just wanted to share a couple of stories about what the doTERRA culture means for me. And I get the mentality of competition. So for me, high school was a terrible place where I was, I had to protect myself. Everyone was the enemy. Everyone else was out to get me. In the workplace, in the places that I worked as a medical typist and as a legal secretary, it was definitely competition, other women hating me, other women bullying me, and, every woman for themselves, or every woman and man for themselves to try and get to the top, to get the promotion, all of that stuff. So when I started doTERRA, I unfortunately actually had that same mentality, that other wellness advocates were my competition and that I was out there for myself and I couldn't really give a stuff about anyone else, and I was just going to make it work, make the money, create the team and make it happen. I was lucky enough that I went to a doTERRA event and I started to watch a lot of webinars. I started to listen to people like Natalie and Andy Goddard, who are our double diamond, so they're presidential double diamonds. Started to listen to their webinars, started to watch videos on YouTube about the contact sourcing, about the company, starting to listen to people like David Stirling, our CEO, Emily Wright, all of those kinds of people, and listening and watching other doTERRA leaders. And then when I attended the doTERRA convention, I was very nervous, very shy, I had very low self-esteem, and still thought it was like, everyone hates me and I hate everyone kind of attitude. And Vanessa Jean, who had just achieved the rank of diamond at the time, and I'd achieved silver in less than 60 days, and we were both speaking at the Share Success event before the convention. And she introduced herself to me and then said, Jessie, let's go to, a little raw food cafe. I want you to show me your team, and let's work out a strategy in a way that I can support you and really, see this work for you. And I really want us to see you succeed and grow and stuff. And I just kind of looked at her in shock and didn't really, I was just like, she's in a different team. I don't really get why she's trying to help me. Like, what is this some sort of strategy to know thy enemy and whatever. But it wasn't. People like Vanessa and other people in doTERRA genuinely want to see everyone succeed. And it's not an attitude of competition. It's an attitude of collaboration. And then very interestingly, when I was at the Diamond Day, so when we have the doTERRA Leadership Retreat, which is for Premier Rank and above, there's also a Diamond Day for Diamonds and above the day before Leadership Retreat. So I was there sitting in a room with all the diamonds and above, just in the Australian market. And David Stirling, our CEO, was talking about the different stages we have in our business and how there's a storming, norming, and performing stage. Yeah, and he was telling me about how Natalie and Andy Goddard, who are massive leaders in America, and Elise and Patrick Shedevy, who are also massive leaders in America, different teams, crossline, like Vanessa, Jean, and I, they hated each other. They thought the other was stupid, idiotic, their ideas were rubbish, they weren't doing things properly, just boom, clashing heads big time, yeah? And then they got to a stage of this norming stage. So he's talking about, firstly in that first stage, the storming stage, you go out there, you do things on your own, you're competitive because they had their own ideas. Then the norming stage is accepting that they all had great ideas, even though they were different. And then the performing stage is actually working together for the greater good and getting even better results. So the lesson here is that the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. So at the moment I'm running an e-course with Mish Pope, a diamond in Western Australia. Again, she's on a different team to me. Vanessa, Jean and Paul and I have done trainings together. You saw it lead at Share Success. There were leaders across the board working together. It wasn't a corporate event. It was an outside of corporate event that had been co-collaborated amongst lots of different teams to share the most value that we all have to share, because people may not resonate with the way I teach, I train, I lead, the message I have to bring. They may not understand my story and the place I come from, but they may resonate with someone like Jackie Isles, a health coach and a nurse and a wellness practitioner, or they may resonate with Vanessa and Paul, who, Vanessa's really bubbly and lovey and all that stuff. And that's not me. I'm straight to the point. Boom, this is how it is. Get it done. Shut up. Stop whinging. She's much more embracing and nurturing and that kind of thing. So I find that when we do work together, the collaboration has just so much value to offer. And Vanessa's not worried about, me taking her enrollments and her being less successful because, I'm a powerful leader and enrolling and have a massive team, and she's helped me create that. Again, I've said this many, many times, but I'm going to repeat it. 0.3% of the Australian population, 0.3, less than 0.3 actually, that is a generous estimate, have a wholesale account. So there's millions of people. What's the population? 24 million? 24 million people, and out of that 0.3%, so I think it's around 100,000 actually have a doTERRA wholesale account. There is no competition. There is no saturation. When you actually break a market, it's easier if more people know what essential oils are. It's easier if more people have heard of doTERRA. 7 years ago or 8 years ago when it started, essential oils weren't mainstream. They were hippie, alternative, woo-woo rubbish that had no scientific backing. And what we've got with doTERRA is a company that are bringing it to the mainstream, that aren't judging people that use mainstream medicine, are understanding mainstream medicine has its place and is appropriate at times, but are bringing the science and research with the essential oils to merge those two worlds and collaborate instead of saying Western medicine's rubbish, alternative medicine's rubbish, woo-woo stuff. It's all hippie. It's all this one's bad, this one's bad. Merging them and collaborating and bringing them together. So that's what we need to do as teams with our upline, with our downline, with our crossline, to create and be guardians of that culture. So in order to be a guardian of that culture, you actually have to uphold it. Guess what? Even when other people aren't looking. And that's called integrity. When you do the right thing, even when no one else will know or see. Yeah, but we do see. Trust me, I see. And I'm extremely embarrassed when it's not upheld, especially if it's in my team. That's not the reputation we want to create. And we do see what goes on.
And that's why I suppose you and I are talking today, because there has been ripples that haven't been part of the culture, and it's just a new way of learning. And as I talked to my team last week, is a lot of us are coming into this business, a lot of us are team players and understand how to work together in collaboration, but a lot of us are coming from high corporate or coming from a solo entrepreneurial perspective where it is just about you. So it will take a little bit of time, and this culture will push your buttons to begin with. But it's about, instead of blaming, instead about judging, how about we lean into the discomfort and lean into the massive amount of support and wealth that you have around us? Because really at the end of the day, it was the Goddards, wasn't it, who brought doTERRA into Australia. So we are actually all in the same team.
Yeah, definitely.
You can be expansive about that. I think that makes a difference as well. And your wellness advocate, your enrollees, is your customer as well as your team member. So would you treat your customer, if you were in a retail shop, would you treat your customer the way that you sometimes view or treat some of your team members? I don't think so. I don't think your shop would last very long.
Absolutely.
But,
and it's okay if you have made any of the mistakes that we're going to talk about. You know, I've made them and I've been in that mentality, as I already mentioned, where it's just me for myself and I don't give stuff about anyone else. So it's not about shame and blame and guilt. It's about recognizing where we have maybe not been aligned with the doTERRA culture because of previous experiences that have actually created that protection. You know, all I see that is as a protection mechanism. You don't feel worthy. You feel like everyone's your competition. You feel like other people are out there to get you. So you create that. Whereas if you actually change that mindset and understand that people are out there to collaborate and help you and support you, and there may be those ones that aren't acting in integrity, but that does not, you know what wins against people lacking in integrity? Maintaining your own integrity, completely ignoring that rubbish, and just going on. You know, I posted in the build group about you don't market by saying what you're not. You market by talking about what you are, the qualities and values and attributes. And people will be attracted to you when you're standing in your power, you're in your integrity, and they won't want to be involved with that rubbish. And if they do, that's fine, move on. There is always the next person. My upline Deborah Husbands always says, some will, some won't, so what? There's always someone waiting. Yeah. So just move on. And as we said, 0.3% of the population have an account. So you need to go to the next house. Our vision and our mission is to get essential oils into every home. Your job is not done. It's not going to be done in this lifetime. So continue on your path. Yeah. So what is the doTERRA culture? And I really look to the owners who have established this culture from the top. People like David Stirling, people like Emily Wright, people like Dr. Hill, and the rest of the executives on the team. There's a team of 7, which is a really beautiful balance of powers there. It's not just one person and their ideas running it all. They really collaborate. Every Monday they have a meeting and they run through everything, and they come to a decision by discussing, collaborating, putting their different viewpoints on the table, and they won't make a decision until they come to a unanimous conclusion that it is the appropriate step to move forward. And if they don't come to a unanimous conclusion, they continue to revisit it and rework it until they do, so that they can move forward with the one vision for the company. So it's really important. And then we look to people like Natalie and Andy Goddard. You know, if you jump on YouTube or jump on their Share Success website and start watching their videos and following them on social media and engaging in the way they run their business with such heart, with such integrity, with such a vision of helping and supporting everyone, you start to get that in culture and embedded. If you go to events, like, you know, for me, going to convention, imagine if I've been like, oh yeah, no, can't be bothered investing in convention, don't really care about that. I would not have met Vanessa Jean and had that experience that she now collaborates and supports me in so many ways, as a friend, as a mentor, as, you know, my equal as well. And I support her in the same way. You know, she'll ring me up and I will talk her through things, and, you know, I'll go over to Perth and train her team. She'll come to Brisbane and train people in my team. That's the way. And of course we have little teams in those areas as well. But we haven't always. Vanessa didn't always have a Brisbane team. I didn't always have a Perth team. So it's about that collaboration and community support that's so important. So look to leaders, look to Crossline, look to the executives for what that culture is and how to replicate that.
And it's about what we give to the wider community. It's about that education. It's about knowing that that person next door doesn't have oils, and you can make a difference to the cellular health of their entire family, their emotional health. So it's about the giving. It's about the making of the difference.
Totally. So some tips on
that rather than the get.
Yes.
And there is so much benefits from giving.
Absolutely. That ideal really comes home in that starfish book that I'm always recommending.
Oh, brilliant.
Becoming a starfish rather than a selfish. And notice how the selfish, it literally says selfish. So if it's about get, you're being selfish, and it's like, I need to sign up, I need this, you know, I need the money, all that stuff. And it becomes that desperate lack, scarcity, poverty energy. Whereas when you're about, what can I give? How can I meet this person's needs? You know, this person's not sleeping. Their child is not focusing at school. They're struggling and they're anxious at work. What's going on for them? And what do I have to offer? Not just oil-wise, which is obviously what we do. We offer the oils. But as Leonie Featherstone said at the leadership retreat, when you get a wholesale account, you don't just get the oils, you get me, you get the team, you get the community support. That's what people actually buy. You're not doTERRA.
Absolutely.
You're not doTERRA essential oils. You are literally selling yourself and your team and the community and support you offer. That's actually what people buy. They're not buying a bottle of essential oil. They can get it from a health food store, you know, anywhere else. They're literally buying your service, your support, your love, your ears and your listening and your genuine care and connection with them as a person, sitting there and meeting their needs and offering something that can really help them. So it's about hoping our attributes shine, but not letting our weaknesses get a hold of us. You know, I know there are weaknesses in my leadership. I know there are weaknesses in how I conduct myself. But instead of telling myself, you know, I'm a crap leader, I'm worthless, you know, no one wants to listen to me, people on my team hate me and don't respect me and wish they were in another team, if I let that stuff get a hold of me, I would be paralyzed and not be able to share my value, share my light, you know, shine and get the job done. So I understand that I have weaknesses, but I play on my strengths and I continue to share my value, even if it doesn't resonate with everyone, even if some people in my team aren't happy with who I am. You know, that's okay. They can be unhappy with me and still do their work. They can mend that relationship over the time. And as Dave Stirling said, it's about that storming, norming, performing process. So, you know, pretty much all of my leaders have hated me at some point because I've pushed their buttons, because I've tried to, you know, show them where they might need some growth, as well as constantly praise. I always try and do a lot more praise than I do, you know, this is how I construct, but it pushes their buttons and they're like, oh, Jessie's an asshole, you know, get away from me, which is fine. And then they come into that norming and performing stage. But just, if you let it if you let it get to you personally and hold on to that weakness, you will become paralyzed. So just don't let that happen. Do you have anything to add there, Jackie?
Well, we mirror each other, don't we? It's a relationship. It's an intimate relationship. And I think that's when you sign up with doTERRA, you don't actually understand. I didn't understand that I was signing up to a spiritual and a personal growth business, as well as an essential oil business. These little oils change our cellular health. They change our emotional health. They reconstruct. They get in there. They're one of the only tools in the wellness industry, as in a product. I'm going to use the term, but it's not. It's an oil, but it actually gets in there. It can have the ability to change DNA, which is extraordinary. So we do get to grow and our buttons are pushed from using the oils, but being in relationships. And it's normal. So if we normalize that, what can we learn rather than what we can judge, how we can distrust more here? Maybe let's look at it as an opportunity to step into what this is showing us that we need to look at for ourselves. You only push my buttons because I need to work on that myself. That's personal growth. That's personal growth. So there's a beautiful ability here for us to grow, whether you do anything in this business or it's just something that you use for you and you're building your other business. But just use, the wounds are exposed to let the light in. Let the light shine on it, and it's the ability to grow from that.
Yeah. So the other thing we're able to do, thanks Jackie, that was really awesome, is we're able to overcome a negative industry perception. Okay, so in the industry, multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct selling, there has been a perception in the past of people being extremely pushy, of bullying. You know, this may not be everyone's experience. It has been, unfortunately, my experience, of people trying to make you do things, of, you know, that real push to buy a lot of expensive product. What they do is called front loading, you know, buy 20 grand of product, and then if you can't move it, you know, you end up in debt. Also forced auto ship is another big one. So for people to be a doTERRA wholesale customer, they don't have to have a forced auto ship. If they're wanting to earn commission, they do need to have that 100 PVLRP. They can edit it or cancel it at any time without any kind of reprimanding or, you know, I don't know, cancellation fees or anything like that going on. If they do want to get the product of the month, it's 125 PVLRP before the 15th. But these are all options. They're totally optional. doTERRA is extremely flexible with that stuff. So we don't want to have the industry perception. We want to change that industry perception of pushy, forceful sales. We only care about the money. We don't care about your needs. We're just going to ram a product down your throat, get the money and run. That's not the perception we want people to have. And it may be their perception now, but we're able to change that. And you're able to change that by having genuine conversations with people and saying, oh, so I hear that you're not sleeping. Would it be okay if I offered you something that's really helped me with that? Really non-threatening. You're genuinely offering value and support and service in people's lives. And then, you know, once they have that sample, is it okay if I take your email so I can send you a bit more information about how that works, and grab your phone number so I can touch base in a few days to see how that's working for you? And then you're able to, once they've had that powerful experience with the oils, invite them to an event. I used to just hold weekly classes at my house, and I still have classes at my house. I don't do them weekly anymore, but for a good 18 months in my business, that's how I developed a solid foundation. So I always have something to invite the people that I'm talking to, that I'm creating a relationship. It's honestly not about, you know, if I go to a networking event, it's not about who can I sign up at this networking event. I don't ever sign up someone at a networking event. It's about who can I develop a relationship with in this room that I'm genuinely going to resonate with, and whether or not they sign up with doTERRA, what can I offer of value to their lives? What can they offer to mine in terms of a genuine relationship, in terms of the skill set that they have that might be, you know, beneficial for lessons that I need to learn in my personal self and in my business. So if I develop those genuine relationships, then they bring up something that's going on in their lives, then I'm able to share something that helps that. And then basically they're signed up, and it's just easy, and it's not been a forceful, pushy, repulsive kind of buy my stuff, be in my MLM business. Yeah, you know? Anything to add to that, Jackie?
Well, that's why I love doTERRA so much, because I have had some really interesting, and I'm going to use the word vulture-like experiences with other MLM companies. doTERRA is not that. And so we have a gift. We really do have a gift in the business, in its heart, in its integrity, and in the quality of the product. Just stands alone for me in every level.
Absolutely. So as I've mentioned, we're product focused. It's encouraging that human connection, and we're penetrating the mainstream population because of the science and research and integrity that the essential oils have, and how much work the owners, and particularly Dr. Hill, have been involved in getting it into research facilities, getting it into hospitals, having a massive medical and scientific advisory board, you know, on tap in the company, having those oils appropriately researched and journal medical articles published and all of that kind of stuff happening, so that we are able to penetrate the mainstream population, because we can tell you that the essential oils affect us on the cellular level, that when we smell an essential oil, it enters the limbic system, goes through the olfactory system, enters the limbic system, which is the emotional center of our brain. You know, if I smell a mango popper, it takes me to the streets of India where I lived when I was 5 years old, and I used to have mango poppers all the time. Our sense of smell is our fastest route down memory lane, and this stuff is backed by science. So people in the mainstream population tend to have that attitude. If science doesn't understand it, you know, it's woo-woo rubbish. We have that scientific backing, and because the oils are so powerful and they work, you know, when women sign up and their husbands are a bit on the fence about it, if they have a powerful experience with Ice Blue or Deep Blue, if they've got it from the US warehouse, if they see their child is unwell, like, you know, got something going on with their stomach, and they see how quickly that digests and helps and supports their child, it's a very quick turnaround when people have those powerful positive experiences with the oils. So we are able to penetrate the mainstream because they work and they're amazing and they're backed by science. But it's about valuing people and having that respect and that universal language. Don't talk smack about other companies. Don't talk smack in your classes about mainstream medicine. The reality is the general population are not usually, I haven't been brought up like this. I haven't been brought up using essential oils and seeing a naturopath as a kid and seeing a chiropractor and going to the organic farmers markets. That's not the upbringing that most of us have. So be respectful of that. Even if you were brought up, you know, eating off an organic farm, seeing a naturopath, getting chiro and using essential oils, do not be disrespectful of the way other people have been brought up and are living their lives up until now. Bring information gently to people and gently awaken them to some new things they can incorporate in their lives without that judgment. That's not going to ride well. And without talking smack about other companies, other essential competitors. As I've said, it's not what we don't do, it's what we do. So just come from that place of what you do well and what the doTERRA oils do really well and why they're so amazing, without that disrespect of anyone else or any other company. Sorry, Jackie?
I just said agreed. And it's wonderful that we are taking doTERRA into the medical world because they both are here to stay. They both work beautifully together.
Totally. And mainstream medicine is so valuable in those emergency, you know, high-end medical care situations. I'm not going to apply some essential oils. I'm going to go to the hospital, be extremely grateful for those incredible emergency care facilities and the people that have all that amazing scientific and medical knowledge and can help and support me. And then I'm going to further support myself with essential oils. But what I do before I get to a situation like that is support with essential oils, support with food, support with sunshine, support with meditation and yoga, support with self-love and affirmations. So that generally I'm not in a situation like that. But if an emergency or accident happens, of course, I'm going to go to that facility and be extremely grateful that we have that in the country we live in. And also leaders that are caught up in a higher cause. You know, the Goddards and doTERRA themselves and a lot of the leaders, you know, I invest thousands of my money into the 5-star rating cooking show and working with the health star rating system and donating to people like Michael Fraser, the arbitrator, who works with a lot of other causes and a lot of other people to generate massive change and help people even outside of doTERRA. But I feel like doTERRA is actually a higher cause as well. Like what I get to do as a leader is value and love people and show them their light, show them how brilliant they are. They may have had low self-esteem. They may have been bullied at their workplace. They may have been bullied by the person they're in a relationship with. They may have had a previous history of bullying in high school. They may not have self-worth and value. They may not see themselves as a business owner, but something in them sees this opportunity and wants to do it. But they need love and support and encouragement and to show that they have value, to be told what they do well. They don't know what they do well. I didn't know what I did well. I thought I was a complete loser that had nothing to offer anyone. And Deborah Husbands told me, Jessie, I know you can do this. I see you as an incredible leader. You have heart. You know, tell it how it is. You want to educate and empower people. You know, you may have not worked one-on-one with people before. You may have never even been a supervisor at McDonald's. I know you can do this. You are doing it. You will do it. And I'm not going to let you quit. I'm sorry. You're too good to quit. you need to keep going. I don't care how much you cry and say you hate doTERRA and want to quit today. You can want to quit today, but you're not quitting on a bad day. You can quit on a good day, not on a bad day. That's the kind of belief and support people like Deborah Husbands instilled in me, people like Vanessa Jean instilled in me. And that's what you can give to other people. It's a massive, massive gift. So you need to respect that gift and love people and show them the light they have. So as leaders are caught up in a high cause, it's not just about the money, but what can I do as a blue diamond, as a leader in doTERRA that has all my own financial needs now covered and my safety security met? How can I actually invest that money in helping the greater community, whether that's in Australia with, women that have experienced domestic violence, or homeless, or children, or animals? If you have a cause that you're deeply passionate about, hold on to that and think about how much you can give back and offer and invest when you are a leader in doTERRA, because the compensation plan is bloody amazing and you will have abundance far beyond what you need to meet your own personal needs.
And I think we're lucky because we have healing hands. And I think right from the get-go, if everyone gave to Healing Hands monthly with their LRP, and it hooks you into the greater cause, it hooks you into that heart and that integrity of the company. And if you don't know what Healing Hands is, Google it and look at what they're doing every time. I cannot wait till I can go to the bed of the fields, and I'm going to cry. And in Haiti, and to be able to dig up my favourite grass, my favourite oil, and to give back and to say thank you to those farmers who so lovingly grow that beautiful oil that has turned particularly my son's life around. So if we hook into that straight away, we are hooking into the heart. So none of this other bullshit that goes on, that the pettiness, it just dissipates straight away because you are in and working on that level. Yeah. Just by giving $1 a month. That's all you need to do. You can do more, but it starts there.
Totally agree, Jackie. And jump on YouTube and watch all of the compact sourcing videos, the vetiver one that Jackie was talking about, and that is such a life-changing oil for people. The cardamom from Guatemala, the frankincense from Oman, Somalia, and other areas of Northern Africa, the wintergreen from Nepal, which is one of my absolute favorite oils, and I honestly just bawl like a baby. When Shannon and I watched that video for the first time on the big screen with Emily Wright, with people from Nepal, and literally just had snot running down, like sobbing our eyes out watching that, because it's just so amazing, the global change. Like, obviously these oils are life-changing for us as personally, massive support for our children, massive emotional, physical, energetic, spiritual support for me. Like, it's just been phenomenally life-changing for me. But to see the life-changing effects it has on those farmers and growers and communities, and you are supporting them when you buy those oils. But if you want to support things like fresh running water and, temporary and permanent accommodation in places like Nepal that have just been forgotten about and had those massive natural disasters, if you want to see women that have been sexually enslaved in places like Bulgaria have higher education and, be able to have all of their needs met to provide something to society and to work and, not be homeless and caught up in a cycle of drugs and sexual abuse and domestic violence. That's the kind of thing you can support. So donate to Healing Hands every month. If you ever do an American US order, buy the Healing Hands Rose Lotion, because it is freaking amazing. It's like one of my absolute favorite products. It's stunning, doesn't leave a greasy residue, smells divine because it's got the rose essential oil in it, which we can't buy, as you know. It's that once a year incentive. So buy that and support that, but also understand that you will be able to support whatever your deepest passion is, whatever really drives you, and really make a difference in the world. It's pretty amazing. It does feel scary. If this kind of terrifies you and you're like, oh, I'm not big enough, I can't help other people, I can only help myself, I can barely, manage on my own. That's how I felt as well. But that does change for you. Just stick with it, have the consistency, persistence, and reach out to those people, upline, crossline, people in your team, to get that belief and support instilled, because anyone can achieve what I have achieved, what others are achieving, and you can make that massive difference to people's lives. It's pretty amazing. But even just buying the oils.
Absolutely. And we're here for you because we've been there. We've been through this. We're here. We understand it. We understand it. So reach out, reach in.
Yeah. So what will destroy doTERRA's culture is cross-recruiting. So if someone else has signed up in another team and you tell them to, wait the 6 months and drop out and join your team, or if you just get them to join up with another account, doTERRA will find out and they'll shut down those accounts, and it will damage businesses massively. Poaching.
Yeah.
So if someone else has been sampling, talking to that person, supporting that person, and you just sign them up because they come to your event, that's not what we do. We have a sign-in sheet at our events, and we ask everyone who invited them to come. We sign up the ones we personally invite, and we send back the other ones to sign up with their person. We can even help them fill in the sheet, and we can put the enroller ID of the person that's actually been working for them and say, here's your form. Please take this back to the person that's been supporting you. They'll be able to enroll you and continue that relationship and support you. Now, we can't force people to sign up with the person that's been talking to them. So imagine the person's been talking to them has been ramming oils down their throat, being really pushy and volatile. They're not resonating with that relationship. They can sign up with you, but not on your recommendation. Yeah. Don't go out there and say, they're such and such. Don't sign up with them. Sign up with me. Explain to them that it's always best practice to sign up with the person and introduce to them, all of that stuff. And if they say, I don't want to sign up with them, I really want to sign up with you and be in your team, okay, but sit in that integrity, and not just because someone else will find out or know. Integrity is doing what's right, whether other people can listen or know or whatever, okay? So do the right thing, because we do find out, and it is repulsive when we do. And karma will serve you. The amount of people that have been poached from me is massive. When I had a Facebook group where people would just literally take my enrollments all the time. But I know that people would have enrolled through my website that have been introduced by other people. I haven't even spoken to them. They've enrolled on my website because they don't want to be in their team. And it's not like I can stop that. If it's genuinely they've enrolled by accident, I have contacted head office and said, this person's enrolled by accident, please move them into the right team within that 14 days. Or if someone speaks to me about it and said, you enrolled the person I've been working with, we work with that and we try and get them back in the right team. If they don't want to be in that team, that's fine. But just having that integrity of sending them back to the person that's introduced, sampled, supported them, so important. Jealousy.
Agreed.
Yeah, really important. Jealousy is a big one. I've mentioned, you probably will have seen and heard me talk about how absolutely intimidated and jealous I was of people like Tara Bliss coming on board with doTERRA. She's in my realm. She's a blogger. She's way hotter than me. Everyone loves her. She's perfect, blah, blah, blah. This is all the BS I was feeding myself. She will attract her tribe. I'll attract my tribe. We'll both still be successful. It's okay. Breathe in, breathe out. Use some forgive, use some bergamot for self-acceptance. Understand that it's your own BS. She's not actually my competition. She doesn't hate me. She doesn't speak ill of me. She actually reached out to me and had that respect for me and saw me as a leader that she kind of aspired to, and asked me for support. It was such a huge wake up, because I'd blocked her on Instagram. I was like, Tara Bliss, hate her. May as well quit my business. I've got no chance. Having a massive meltdown, crying on the floor. It's all over for Jessie. Tara Bliss is on the scene. Jesus, get a grip on your life. And now we've done launch trainings together. When she was doing her speech at leadership retreat, she was texting me the night before, sobbing in her car, saying, I can't do this. You were so amazing. Everyone was so amazing. I just don't have that kind of the caliber of the speakers. And I was there coaching her through it and showing her light and being there for her. Yeah. So it's really interesting. But imagine if I was just continued to be a total asshat and fully reject her and not have that connection, that collaboration that we now have. It's just not, you get so much more when you collaborate and connect with people. And her speech at leadership retreat was amazing. And we all got so much out of her sharing her heart with us, so it's very, very interesting. Speaking ill of others and the company, never a good idea. We all have our moments in doTERRA where we just want to vomit and purge, and that is okay. But choosing your words wisely and venting to your upline, not in a group, not to your downline, not to your frontline leader, even if they're your best friend. And I've made these mistakes as well. When I've been angry, I'll be like, nah, and just have a big vomit. It's not a good idea. It just creates fear and, disharmony in your team and with your leaders. Not a good idea.
I was about to say vent up, because 9 times out of 10 we would have been there. We would have experienced it.
Yeah.
So up to your leaders, and
we can work for it together and come up with an appropriate solution that is going to help us move forward, instead of staying stuck in the mud, just hating everything and everyone and using it as an excuse to give up. And I find these things come up to test us and see whether we're going to be the kind of person that finds a way to go over, under and around and keep going, or whether we're going to say, oh, well, may as well just give up. It's too hard. So that's your choice. And if you can speak to your upline and say, this is what I'm coming up against, this is what I'm struggling with, can we find a way to work through this? And doing it sensibly and like an adult instead of a whiny toddler having a tantrum will always go a long way. I've been the whiny toddler having a tantrum as well. Everything I'm talking about, I have been. So it's not about shame, guilt, and embarrassment and you're wrong and you've done the wrong thing. It's about seeing that behavior and then modifying it to come in line with who you really are.
The universe always tests us. There's always exams.
Yes. And we always teach what we need to learn the most, I find. So it's been a very
true
lesson and journey. So taking the team recruits for personal gain, I think we've already covered that, and putting the dollars first, not our focus. Our focus is value and service. Selling products at discount lower than wholesale, just a dumb thing to do. Like, I don't sell retail ever, and I don't say, oh, hey guys, you'll never see me on Facebook. Like, hey guys, I'm putting in my LRP, want to buy anything? No, I don't want people coming to my house, having to pick up their products from my house. Also, really dumb, because I don't actually get any commissions if they order wholesale through my account. But if I help them get their own account, so they get it drop shipped to their door, they can get LRP points, they can get the product of the month, they can get commission if they share with other people. I'm taking all of that away from them. If I just put their order through my LRP, I don't get commission. They don't get points. They don't get free products. They can't get commission. And it has to be drop shipped to my house instead of theirs. It's just the worst idea for everyone involved. Help people this is what I say to people. How about I help you get the same price as me and we set up your wholesale account? Why is that any harder than order through my account? It's not. You just got to value yourself and value what doTERRA have to offer enough to help people get their own wholesale account and get the exact same price as you anyway. It's not like you're flogging them massively marked up retail. It's literally just helping and supporting them to get exactly what we have and take advantage of all the benefits we have while you still get paid for that service. So it's that energetic value exchange. It's really, really important. Just don't sell retail and don't get people to order through your accounts. Heaps annoying. Are you loving it, Jackie?
I am. Incentives
that are too generous. So there was a post in the leadership group the other day about this. They are going to be implementing a new policy that stops this from happening, because it really does devalue the wholesale kits as they are and devalues the massively generous incentives that doTERRA already have on offer, and it creates an uneven playing field. When I see incentives on offer for, like, if you sign up with a home essentials kit, you'll get $120 if you 17 books and $300 worth of this and that. It's stupid. I've never been able to afford to put in incentives like that, when I was building my foundation of my business prior to reaching the level of diamond. So I didn't do it. I used to put on very, very small incentives, but if we have no incentives, I think it's better for everyone. Keep in mind, this policy is not in effect in Australia yet, so don't freak out about it. We will keep you updated. We will share more information as this comes into play. So if you are offering incentives this month, that's fine. Just don't offer massive ones, because it devalues your product and makes you look silly. Debt equals desperation. And, then you'll have people out there just looking for the best deal rather than aligning with the best person to support them.
Agreed. Sorry, what was that?
Anything to add around not playing nicely with others, not taking responsibility and not serving your team, Jackie?
It's about service. We're here to serve. We are here to serve. And every lesson that bashes you on the head, and it is for you to lean in, take responsibility, and look at how you can serve better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not just about calling someone and adding them to the Facebook group. It's about doing the wellness consult with them. It's about offering them if they're open to having a class and you coming and supporting them and doing that with and for them. It's about, you know, chatting with them and checking with them online or in person or via text or via phone or email, whatever works for you, and genuinely being of service and support to your people, and then teaching your leaders how to service and support. Because I can't support 5,500 plus people on my own. It's ridiculous. I tried to do that in the early days of my business, went insane, hated everyone, hated life, didn't want to do doTERRA. So me supporting my leaders and enrollments or placing them with people that then support them as well is crucial. It's a flow-on effect. You support people properly, they'll support people properly, they'll support people properly. In the beginning stages of your business, it is kind of you supporting and serving everyone until you do have leaders that step up. So just embrace that part. It's a learning, growing process. But if you do serve people properly, they will then pass on that service and support to their people. So it's a life cycle. So Jackie, I'll let you talk about this quote.
Yes. I have two beautiful teachers, being Byron Katie and Marianne Williamson. So whenever I feel like I am being challenged, I always go to their works. And this one stood out to me because of what's actually has been filtering up to me of recent times in my business. So our parents, our children, our spouses, and our friends, I'm going to add in there our team members, will continue to press every button we have until we realize what it is we don't yet know about ourselves. They will point us to our freedom every time. So we've already talked about this concept, about looking at what is prickling you about someone else's personality. And we are all thrown together because we buy oils. It's not as though in your own business you can pick and choose. You can openly recruit and you can ask the universe for the right people in your team that will serve you and have the certain personalities and so forth. That will work. But sometimes you will get people who will be gifted to your team, or just as the universe is, as life is, we are all different. So it's about being able to recognize that it's a lesson for us to learn, for all of us to learn. And once we get that, and once we look at it, because there will be something there to help us understand more greatly about our journey within ourselves and our journey into soul advancement, which is rank advancement and moving up our businesses on every level, being in abundance.
Awesome. And
So
then
that's pretty straightforward. And this one too, I just grabbed some quotes that have really helped me understand and align with me stepping up to being a greater leader, because a lot of things have happened in my tree of recent times. So I take responsibility for that. I'm not just blaming what's gone on way down where it has gone on. It's like, okay, how can I lead better here? How can I step into this? How can I give more guidance? How can I give more education? That's going to benefit me, but it's going to more greatly benefit the team. So people hear you on the level you speak to them from. Speak from your heart and they will hear with theirs. So it's about recognizing there is friction. It's about parking that friction. It's about being anchored in the reality. Question whether this is true or not. 9 times out of 10, we're often seeing with our filters. And we are seeing with different lenses to other people. So it's about understanding that we all have a different perception here. We all have a different view. And it's about finding the common good, because we are all a team together. And if we walk and hold hands together, we are far greater in this beautiful company.
Excellent. Thank you very much for sharing that, Jackie. I love those quotes. They're 2 of my favorite teachers as well. Marianne Williamson, A Return to Love, and also The Divine Law of Compensation are 2 really amazing books that can help you on this journey as well. Says my internet is unstable. So thank you so much for sharing, Jackie. We had a question in the chat. Do you know how much convention is? I can't even remember how much it is.
It was, last year it was 189, the entire convention. So that's so doable. Like, that's ridiculously doable. So absolutely. Is it Danielle? Absolutely, you can plan there.
Save up some of those fast starts, reinvest some of your commission into your business and into attending events like that, because it's so, so, so so amazing and so crucial to your ongoing success in the business. The other question was, what do you do when you get people in your classes who are only wanting to go retail and then basically talk everyone else into adding onto their retail order so everyone can save postage? Jackie, what would you do?
What do you do when people in classes who only want to go retail and then basically, well, that's never happened. I would park that question to the end and I would talk to that person one-on-one. And I would talk and sell the absolute benefits to that individual of a wholesale account. Because at the end of the day, you buy 3 oils and your wholesale account, okay, let's look at, I think it's frankincense, let's look at citrus blend, and let's look at lavender. So we're looking at our stress levels, we're looking at cellular health, we're looking at uplifting mood. You buy those 3 oils at a wholesale price with a wholesale account, you're actually saving money as to if you buy those 3 at a retail price.
Yeah, and I say to people,
no-brainer.
If you're buying retail, you don't get the Facebook support group. You don't get to, have the wholesale rewards. The shipping is also free. After your first order, you get, even in your first order, you get shipping rewards points given back to you for more products. So I talk about shipping rewards. Shipping is actually free because you get points to spend on more free product. And I don't sell retail to anyone ever. And I host coach people. I say to people, if I come and do this class for you, you will not sit down at the end and talk everyone out of signing up. You will not have everyone order on your account. And I explain and go through the benefits with my hosts first. And I say there won't be any alcohol, get people to get there 10 minutes early because we will be starting on time. You can drink and eat food after the class. It'll take about 45 minutes for me to run through the class and 15 minutes, half an hour to chat with everyone and help them sign up at the end. Can you please support me in that process? This is a 5-minute chat I have with people, and I set really clear boundaries from the beginning. So I don't rock up to classes where everyone's having a drink and seeing it as a social event and completely disrespecting and not listening to me. And then the host is like, oh, just order on my account. Doesn't happen because I host coach, I have boundaries. And I also respect myself and value my services and value the wholesale account. The second you place value on the wholesale account, you place value on them having membership, you won't have that problem.
And at most classes that I hold, big general classes rather than the intimate classes, there will be someone there, a couple of people with wholesale accounts. And by the end of it, it's just like, oh my God, can I sign with you? Because I want a part of this. I want to the part of this walk the talk, part of this wellness. I want this support. I want this education. I want, this is what I need. You don't get that with wholesale.
With retail, you mean? You don't get that with
with retail. Absolutely. You don't get that with retail.
Yeah.
With wholesale, you get care, you get education, and you get the doTERRA way, which we are so blessed to have.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Jackie, for coming on and sharing with us and adding value to this very, very, very important conversation. Thanks to everyone that's listened, and I'm sure a lot more people will be watching the recording when they get home tonight. So yeah, I just really appreciate what you've shared with us today, Jackie. It's, again, value of collaboration and contribution is we get to hear from different leaders with different perspectives and learn different things and hear what's really important to them. So it's awesome.
And I want to thank you. And I want to thank you. I want to thank you for introducing me to doTERRA and to actually being one of my greatest teachers on this journey. You're an amazing girl. So thank you.
Thanks, Jackie. I'll stop the recording now and chat to you soon. Thanks so much, everyone. See ya.